Hello, everyone.
Welcome to the Queers of Time podcast.
I'm Matt.
I'm James.
I'm Kenny.
And I'm Kat.
And this is a podcast to talk about all the gay stuff in the Wheel of Time.
Because we're gay and we like the Wheel of Time.
As always, thank you to our feral venator of terrains, Lux, Charlie, Morshadi, and John. Thank you for the support.
Yay, thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Today is Mini Gay Pride, Mini Gay Prejudice, as James wrote in the introduction for this episode. It's another movie review. We are reviewing the 2022... well, I think it's a masterpiece, but the 2022 movie Fire Island, which stars, it stars Joel Kim Booster, Bowen Yang, Margaret Cho, and some other people.
And some other people. Yay, give it up for some other people.
Fuck them other people.
And some other people, too. But come on, Margaret Cho and Bowen Yang. I mean, it's...
I was chatting with other people while I was watching that movie yesterday, and I was like, okay, we've been rereading the Wheel of Time books. They are not gay enough, so let's get some very gay movie for.
Yes.
Yeah.
Switch it up.
Fire Island it's not a retelling of Pride and Prejudice, because I would consider a retelling to be something like Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. Or just like the 1996 BBC adaptation of Pride and Prejudice. Like, there's a difference between, or maybe that is a retelling, but like, what I'm saying is it is more in line with like Bridget Jones's Diary. It takes like the bones of the novel, and it's like Clueless with Alicia Silverstone, which was an adaptation of Emma.
Also an excellent movie.
Oh, so good. So good. With, oh my God, Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
So many gay awakenings for so many 90s youths.
James, are you okay? Are you buffering?
Bridget Jones' Diary was an adaptation of what?
I love it. Yeah.
Pride and Prejudice.
I've never seen it. But...
Oh, really? I'm surprised. Oh.
Like the last 2 minutes, I'm like, yeah, I don't know that movie. I don't know that thing. I don't know that book. That's fine. I'm just going to stay in the background.
I know Clueless. Like, that's obvious, and that's always been there, but like... I don't know.
Emma and Pride and Prejudice are the most adapted of Jane Austen's books because they are the most bubbly and sparkly of her books.
They're the fun ones.
They're the fun ones, yes. But yeah, so we watched Fire Island, and we all have reactions. I think this is just continuing our review series we did with But I'm a Cheerleader and Just Friends, and I think y'all watched Nimona while I was away doing something.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
And by you all, me and James.
Oh.
I was going to say, I was also away, I'm pretty sure, because I don't remember.
Because both Matt and Kat bailed on us.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
No.
That's fine. You should still watch it, because Nimona was good. But
I
that's fine. Let's talk
know.
about Fire Island today.
But it's fine.
But it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, Fire Island is a gay retelling of Pride and Prejudice, which I did not notice, even though the first line quotes Pride and Prejudice. Yeah, I'm not very bright.
It's okay. It's 2024. We're all not that bright.
I haven't read Pride and Prejudice, and I feel like I may have watched a movie adaptation, but I don't really remember it. But I've heard so much about like Mr. Darcy that I kind of got the vibe with Will without knowing anything about Pride and Prejudice. I don't even know the names in the book, but, the rich guy that is a bit mean, but turns out not to be that mean. Yeah, okay. Like, there's a scene in the rain, and I feel like that must have been some stereotype in the book that they wanted to use, because the rain itself was so random, and 5 minutes later it's not raining anymore. So
I don't think there's like any actual kissing in the rain, because back then that would have translated to "you're going to get sick and die."
Yes.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, I don't know, some emotional scene.
An encounter in the rain.
Emotional damage.
in the middle of the rain, with one running away and the other following the person running away. It felt like okay, that was something they needed a checklist for that.
Well,
I think it's. Oh, sorry, Matt. Go ahead.
No, sorry. I was going to say there is a very vague Wheel of Time connection between Fire Island and The Wheel of Time, and this is it. The Wheel of Time was adapted into a TV show starring Rosamund Pike. Rosamund Pike is an actress who starred as Jane Bennett in an adaptation of Pride and Prejudice. Pride and Prejudice is a novel that was adapted into a gay movie called Fire Island.
There we go. The
Bam.
circle is complete.
The circle of Bussy is complete.
No.
No. No.
You need
I know.
you need to learn different
Suggested.
words.
It wasn't even suggested, and James is already like, "No, I'm gonna veto that." Absolutely
No, I wasn't going to
not.
suggest it for the title. You can do better than that.
I'm just vetoing you in general.
I just wanted to
think.
wake y'all up a little bit.
I have coffee.
That's good.
I'm not gonna get coffee. It's almost 10 p.m.
Yeah, please don't get coffee at 10 p.m.
Sorry, I don't like coffee, but
So, sorry, Kat, what were you going to say before I ruined everything?
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, I feel like the rain scene is one of the constants that carries over. One of the, like, there are a couple of them, but that's one of the, like, sort of iconic constants that carries over between Pride and Prejudice retellings, adaptations, what have you. Because it's very, like, you recognize it. You know, even if you haven't necessarily read Pride and Prejudice, you haven't watched the BBC version, like, you still get the gist of it. It sort of permeated our culture, I think.
who's having an airport right next to their door?
It is not
Is
me.
it
not me.
is it James?
Oh, it's
I think
me.
You know, maybe the airplane is playing Pride and Prejudice on their thing.
Because I was like, damn, that's a long airplane.
So, who's ready for some Professor Matt?
Go for it, Matt.
Go, do it.
For our listeners, I've typed up it since, you know, Jane Austen is one of my favorite authors. Pride and Prejudice is my second favorite work of hers, so I wrote up a little Professor Matt segment.
What is your first favorite work of hers?
Right now it's Emma.
I was gonna say it has to be Emma.
Next week it might be Pride and Prejudice. The week after that it might be Mansfield Park. You just don't know.
It rotates.
The only one that never takes my first place is Sense and Sensibility. I like it, but
So for me, Mansfield Park is that for me. Mansfield Park is a little bit too
incesty,
grim. Yeah.
grim, and yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, Pride and Prejudice, for those who don't know, is an 1813 novel by Jane Austen. Contrary to popular belief, it is not a Victorian novel, but it is from the Regency era, which preceded the Victorian novel.
So it's worse.
So, her works are often reduced to being romances, and romance is a fantastic genre. I love romance. I'm reading one now by Cat Sebastian, but there's so much more to Austen's books than just that. Her depiction of romantic, platonic, and familial relationships is deep and psychologically complex. She deals also with the burgeoning issues of class relations in Regency England, since at that time, one's class was no longer a total barrier to financial and social standing the way it was like before that. Before this time period, how you were born determined how you were going to be for the rest of your life. And in Jane Austen's time, there was a breakdown of that, and the rich were getting a little antsy about it. So the fact that Elizabeth Bennet marries an incredibly wealthy man was just like scandalous back in the day. So Austen's biting wit and scathing burns of society and characters are just legendary. And like I said, her works just can't be reduced to AO3 and Wattpad tropes like many people try to do. So this is where a lot of adaptations of her work fall short. Emma is a caustic and hilarious story of overconfidence and class arrogance. Persuasion is a very melancholy reflection on lost love. And Pride and Prejudice is a sparkling and witty novel about the economic realities women faced in Austen's time and how they overcame them. But the retellings of these stories often reduce Austen's works to just enemies to lovers or second chance romance. Like a lot of people, it's like the marketing images you see of books with the cover of the book and a bunch of tropes with arrows pointing at the book, which tells you nothing about the book. But there's so much of a beating heart at the center of her works, which is the characters, and Fire Island is probably one of the few adaptations of Pride and Prejudice that succeeds in every single regard. It's an ode to joy and love and friendship, but it also retains the wit and the sarcasm. It also repeats lines from Austen's works, or sometimes it adapts them for modern audiences. At its center are characters that are fully fleshed out with hopes, dreams, and personalities. Even the side characters that we'll get into are a bit more fleshed out than you typically see with side characters. And the movie does not shy away from social commentary, which is where a lot of Pride and Prejudice adaptations fail, because they're like, oh, we're going to do an enemies to lovers, OMG, just one bed, ooh woo, or whatever. I don't know what people do these days. But Fire Island looks at the very ugly social issues that face queer people, and especially queer men of color, both at the hands of each other and at those of a racist and heteronormative society. So when Fire Island is not tackling its beautiful romances, it is tackling these tough social issues. So if you enjoy Fire Island, if you watch it after listening to this episode and you don't mind a bit of a challenge, I highly recommend Pride and Prejudice. Yes, there's archaic language and a lengthy word count, and it has a reputation of being stuffy because it's old, but it is so much fun, and there's a reason that it resonates with readers even 210 plus something years later. So that's my Professor Matt segment.
That was very good. That was a very good tribute.
Kimmy's like, fuck this.
No.
No, that was interesting because I didn't realize that the original one dealt with class issues and stuff, so I can see how it was very well translated to Fire Island, or in Fire Island, with all of the issues that the gay peoples face, that the homosexuals deal with.
Homosexuals.
The home of the sexuals.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was at the time in England when the poors, some of the poors at least, were rising above their station and getting too much money for their own good, and the upper class was not happy with that. And then some upper class people started intermarrying with the poors, which further just degraded the aristocracy. And Austen was like, yep, let's do it. So, not a total one for one, but a similar societal upheaval in a good way vibes. Plus gays.
Yeah, plus gays.
Yeah, this movie doesn't end with the gays rising up and taking over, so I don't know if that's how Pride and Prejudice ends. Was it an upheaval of society, or was it just a slice of life type of thing?
Well, okay, so one of the few parts of the movie, and Kat, you might have the same or different opinion, but so Cooper, the character of Cooper, is the analog for Lady Catherine de Bourgh, who's just as awful in Pride and Prejudice as Cooper is. But what I'm disappointed in is that Lizzie Bennet / the Noah character, reams Lady Catherine 7 or 8 new assholes, and there wasn't that scene in Fire Island, which, I wanted it so bad.
Yeah, Dex very much gets his comeuppance.
Yeah.
But Cooper does not, and that was it's all this to say, I very much like the character of Lady Catherine. She's horrible, but she's fascinating. She's a fascinating character.
If I had ever learned the piano, I assure you I would have been a proficient.
So mean for no reason.
Yeah, meanwhile, I don't really know how you can like Cooper.
Oh,
He's
you're
a
not.
dick.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Cooper's.
Oh. I didn't. So appreciating and appreciating a character. It doesn't. I'm not I don't agree with them.
Yeah, I get it. But the thing is that with Cooper, there's not a lot even to appreciate. He's an idiot cunt, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot to enjoy in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the novel. Sorry, James, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just agreeing. I don't think he's meant to be. I think some characters, which we'll probably touch on a little bit, weren't as fleshed out as they are in Pride and Prejudice. So I think this is one of them.
Yeah. In the novel, Lady Catherine she comes from a very wealthy family. She has a lot of wealth, but she represents the old guard, the class that is falling out of wealth. Basically, all she has is her mansion and her daughter, who is sickly, and she wants to marry her daughter off to Darcy, or maybe it's Bingley. She wants to marry her daughter off to Darcy, I think, And like that's like marrying her daughter off to Darcy is the only thing that's keeping her from poverty, but she's so mean and she's so snobby and she thinks that she's better than literally everybody else. But like she's grasping onto her wealth with like just two fingers dangling.
And that's what so Pride and Prejudice is also one of my favorite books. And that's one of the things that Jane Austen does so well, is depicting different sort of pictures of different classes. And so like Lady Catherine, yeah, she's horrible. She's a terrible person, but you can kind of, you can see why she is the way that she is. She's not just doing it for the sake of doing it.
Yeah.
And that doesn't excuse her reasoning, but yeah, there's a reason why is the way that she is. And that was, and I think in any kind of adaptation, any kind of retelling, something has to give. You have to kind of pick and choose which characters you're going to flesh out, which ones you're going to sort of keep a little bit more simplistic, if that makes sense. And it makes sense that she was one of them, or he was one of them, that Cooper is one of them, because, it's, I would much prefer have like, Jane and Bingley be fleshed out than say
Jane and Bingley, my two golden retrievers. I mean, Cooper does say like that he wants Will for a starter boyfriend at one point.
Yeah, in LA. That was so funny. Like, I'm moving there, so I need a starter boyfriend there, so please leave it to me, okay?
The absolute audacity.
The caucasity of Cooper's caucasity.
Oh my god. What a dick.
I saw like the racism when he was talking in the bathroom with Noah about Will was like, so what the fuck, man? How can you say that out loud? I don't exactly remember what he says, but there's a commentary about like
guys like you.
Like, I think his mother is white, so it's not too bad if he's too Asian or something like that. And I was like, what?
Yep.
Yeah. A lot of the casual racism was kind of casual. It was just very casual.
Yeah. Which, this is why we need more stuff written by diverse authors, because this was written by Joel Kim Booster. So, like,
I thought you were going to say Pride and Prejudice is written by a diverse author, and I'm like, it's a white woman?
Okay, back then she was diverse, but these days, no. No, Joel Kim Booster wrote the script, which, to me at least, like, the racism is not the movie itself being racist. It's showing bad characters being racist, if that makes sense.
I mean, so for people that haven't really read Pride and Prejudice or anything, which I see you have questions for discussion here. Never mind. Mm-hmm. I don't want to steal that.
Professor Matt has discussion questions.
I didn't look at the doc to see like how fleshed out this has gotten. Cheapers.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I was just gonna see like.
Sorry.
I was just going to go to question number 3, which is skipping ahead a little bit, but which of the characters are we?
Oh, yeah. We could. So how about we, first, for those that have read Pride and Prejudice, I say who is who, and then we talk about the characters that we are.
And also, like, at the same time, also describe who is who in the movie, because, let's give some context to the people listening to us.
Yes.
Context is important.
Context?
We sometimes think we exist in a bubble.
Okay. The main characters. So Lizzie Bennet is the heroine of Pride and Prejudice. She is snarky and sassy and very jaded, and her equivalent is Noah, who is the narrator and the main character, played by Joel Kim Booster. So Lizzie's sister, Jane Bennet, in the book, she's very soft, she's very demure, she's very sweet, but her equivalent is Howie, played by Bowen Yang, and Howie is quite a bit snarkier and sassier than Jane is, but I think that's the right call to make, because you couldn't have someone who's that submissive and quiet in a movie like this.
Also, he was also based on, I was looking at the Wikipedia for this, also on Charlotte Lucas.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Charlotte Lucas is a friend of Lizzie Bennet's who essentially feels as though she has no worth, and she settles for a character we'll talk about later, and she ends up being content but not happy. So I can see how Charlotte Lucas and Jane Bennett, that's a good combination character, I think. The next one is Mr. Darcy. No, Mr. Bennett. So in Pride and Prejudice, there are 5 sisters. There's Lizzie, Jane, Kitty, Lydia, and Mary. And their mother is Mrs. Bennett, who is not in this movie, thank God, because that's just too much. I need some Xanax to deal with the Mrs. Bennett character. But Mr. Bennett is a fatherly figure who is very sarcastic, doesn't put up with bullshit, and loves his daughters very, very much, even though he sort of favors Lizzie. And in the movie, the amazing Margaret Cho plays Erin, and she's also the only femme character. Which is interesting because most of the characters of Pride and Prejudice are women, and it's sort of swapped here.
I mean, you can also just describe Erin. Erin is an amazing. She's the lesbian mom of the group. She's quite older than the rest of the guy coming to Fire Island. She owns the house where they all spending a week of vacation. And she's about to lose that house because of financial issues, so she has to sell it. And she's hilarious. She is amazing. So a bit more love for Erin, please.
I didn't mean to leave anything out.
Oh, we're gonna listen. We're just starting here. We're gonna get to Margaret Cho.
Yes. But I would say, like, as someone who has not read Pride and Prejudice and we are still reviewing a movie, it's still important to, like, you know, also develop the movie character, not just the book characters.
So Mr. Darcy is the love interest of Lizzie Bennett. He is cranky and just generally unpleasant until you get to know him, and he's got a very warm heart and deep compassion. It's just his cranky exterior is hiding a lot of hurt. And in the movie, he is Will, who is basically the exact same character. Will is one of the wealthy, or wealthier, even though he's an attorney, on Fire Island. Which brings me to Mr. Bingley, who is the golden retriever of English literature. He is the only unproblematic white man that we stan. He is like sunshine incarnate, and also is only operating on like a few brain cells. And that's Charlie. In the movie, Charlie is a doctor who is also vacationing with Will, and like Charles Bingley, Charlie is a golden retriever who is working on about 2 brain cells at any given time. The next 3 characters are the Bennett sisters. There is Lydia Bennett, Kitty Bennett, and Mary. Lydia and Kitty are always sort of lumped together. They are both flirtatious. They are both very, I don't want to say promiscuous because that wasn't something back in Regency England, but they were very flirtatious and very, very bubbly. And they were just a bit too much. They're just a little too much extrovert energy. And in the movie, this is Luke and Keegan, who are 2 of Noah and Howie's friends. You will know who they are immediately because they're just humping everything in sight and drinking.
They met in drama school and it explains so much.
Yes,
they met in drama school and it explains so much. But despite their promiscuity or their flirtatiousness, they also have good hearts. Mary Bennett is the one who got the biggest glow up in this movie because Mary is just unpleasant. Mary in the novel is a pedantic, unpleasant, mood-killing spinster. I hate using the word spinster, but if anyone deserves the word spinster... It
applies in this case, I think.
If anyone deserves the word spinster, it's Mary Bennett. But that's Max, and they made him... Like, he still has the nerdy reading lots of books thing, but he's also got a personality. He also gets his ass ate in the dunes, apparently, throughout Fire Island off-screen. 3 characters left, I promise. Mr. Wickham. He is the dashing, debonair, wealthy ex-friend of Mr. Darcy, who is so charming and so lovely until you realize that there is pure evil lurking behind his sociopathic facade. Then there's Lady Catherine. We've talked about her and Cooper, so I won't go over that again. And then the blink and miss it is Mr. Collins. He's like the sycophant suck-up who is just so socially awkward, and that is the guy named Moses, who's like got the thin, pervy stash that hits on.
I didn't even know he had a name. I just remember him as a guy with 3 anime tattoos.
Yeah.
The rice queen.
And also, when he ordered drinks for Noah, he ordered Shirley Temple, and those are non-alcoholic cocktails. And I was like, dude, really, you couldn't be so lame.
And he's like, "Ooh, you're Korean."
Something like that.
The racism,
Oh my
There's a
god!
term
I guess
for
I have a
it.
saying to get.
He's a weeb.
The term is rice queen.
Okay, that's yep.
I did not know that term.
So I've explained the characters, and yes, we can go to which of the characters are you? I will let somebody else go first as I've been talking.
I mean, one of my 2 whole notes during the entire thing was, out of everyone, I think I relate to Aaron the most, and I don't know what that says about me in Pride and Prejudice land.
I think that makes sense because then, like, Aaron is Mr. Bennett. I think that works for you very well, actually, because it's, Mr. Bennett, like, he's very sarcastic, very witty. Like, Elizabeth or Lizzie is very similar to her father, which I think is probably why her father favors her quite a bit. But there's a genuine sweetness and a genuine care that Mr. Bennett has, and I think that translates really well with Erin and how much she loves her boys. It's so sweet. I think that works for you.
Okay, good. I'm glad I passed the test.
It's a good one. Mr. Bennett has his shit together.
Oh, well, then that's not me. That's not me at all.
I'm sorry. Who was a track director at Jordan Con who
That's still
keeps
not
things-
me.
It's still not you?
Okay,
Oh,
well-
okay. Well,
Okay, well, we're moving on.
well, then I'm
Okay.
confused about Jordan Con this year.
No, okay, whatever.
Camille.
I don't know. Tell me who I am. No, I mean, probably not either of the minor characters. Like, I don't relate to a lot of them. I don't have the sass of Noah. I am not a golden retriever like Charlie. I also do not have the vibe of Erin. So I feel like I probably would be either close to Howie or Will. I don't know. It's I really don't know. Because Howie has this, like with Jane in the book, and apparently a mix of another character whose name I already forgot, as very much like kind of a naive romantic view of like love, which I do like, but I also don't think I'm that naive either. So
You could be a mix of characters, maybe.
You could. I think you're a mix of Howie and Max.
Yeah. I was going to say Max, too.
oh, Max, yeah, maybe.
I was also
Yeah.
going to throw Max out there, but I was like, the way y'all described her in the books, I was like, well, maybe that's mean.
Okay,
But
no,
Max-
Camille is Max. Camille
Movie
is not Mary
specific.
Bennett.
movie
no.
specific, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, movie specific. No,
Yeah.
Camille is not. None of us is Mary Bennett.
Nobody is Mary Beth.
Yeah, I'm not sure about Max either because like, for example, Max is a bit of a mood killer in a sense that like he's not drinking, like, or like taking drugs and this kind of thing. And I mean, I'm not that bad, I guess. So
Yeah, but he does do those things. He's like a little prudish.
yeah.
But Max is also very social justice oriented, and I feel that you are too. And that's like, not that none of us are, but like, Max is a great character.
Yeah.
I have thoughts on Max as a character.
Yeah.
Okay.
And those thoughts are?
Oh no, I just feel like he was very underutilized.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
I
So that's what I was about to say. Like all of the, I was kind of not looking at the list after Luke, because I feel like Luke, Kenan, and Max didn't get much. Like, they got some time, but it's still very much a superficial side that we see of them.
Which, for Luke and Keegan, makes sense because from what you're describing, Matt, they're superficial characters.
Yeah.
Whereas with Max, it seems like Max has a little bit more substance, so it seems like a little bit of an injustice to him to do him that way.
I think Mary Bennett is superficial in that she has about as many personality traits as Lydia and Kitty, but they gave Max more character but didn't do as much as they could have with his character.
Which makes sense. It's an hour 30 minutes long movie. Like, you can't have a deep dive in every character in a movie that is 90 minutes. So
Yeah, no, I mean, it makes sense that some things have to be cut, and I'm not mad at it at all. It's just more of a observation.
And the reason that Luke and Lydia get more attention is because Wickham/Dex's essential rape and sexual assault of Lydia/Luke is a linchpin of the plot, because when Darcy/Will put everything down the line to help Lizzie/Noah's friends to fix this shit, that's when
That was the turning point.
that was the turning point when Noah and Lizzie realized this is a keeper. This is a truly good person.
And also because Dex as a character is more connected to the two main characters that Luke himself is. Because Dex has a past with Will and is flirting with Noah, which pisses off Will. So that makes Luke having more impact on the story, because then whatever he gets with Dex is there's a bit of a competition for a bit, which is kind of funny at some point, and then the thing with Dex happened, and it's like, oh shit.
Yeah. And it's very true to the, like, you don't realize how bad Mr. Wickham is until, like, it kind of all happens at once, where, like, you're just like, like, it was kind of like suspicious before, but this is a very bad person. And it was nice to see the same sort of thing happen with like in the movie as well, where you're just like, Dex is a monster. Like, Dex is bad.
Right.
Yeah, I feel we're gonna be talking more about that, but Kat, did you mention which character you were? And I don't think, Matt, you did that either, so we should continue on that path first.
I feel like I would love to say I'm an Aaron. I'm not an Aaron, though. I'm not an Aaron. I think I'm closest to Howie. I think Howie resonates with me the most, which makes sense because Jane was the character that resonated with me the most in Pride and Prejudice. I don't know that I'm necessarily the same level of naive. Maybe I am. I don't know. But like that sort of romantic, like it. Yeah. I think I'm a Howie. I don't know. Do you guys think? I can't think of anyone else that would really.
I could see Howie and a little bit of Charlie.
Okay.
Not the zero brain cells part, but like just the kind.
Well, maybe sometimes the zero brain cells part, but I will happily take Charlie as well, because Charlie is delightful.
And what about you, Matt? Did you mention who you were? Or?
So my problem is I am very easily a Lizzie Bennet. Like, as far as the novels go, like of all of Jane Austen's characters, I am Lizzie Bennet the most. But I'm not sure if I'm a Noah, because it depends on like person, because I just don't like partying and clubbing as much as Noah does. But is that too superficial of a personality trait to say that I'm not? I would say I am more of a Will mixed with Howie. Like, I've got a lot of the same ideals as Howie, but I can be a little caustic sometimes. My personality can be a little curmudgeonly, but I would like to think that there is a heart of softiness beating under my crusty cactus needle exterior. So I don't know. I would say Will with a combination of Howie, with the asterisk that I am a Lizzie Bennet.
Okay. Yeah.
We skipped 2 according to... So Cooper...
I mean, we don't have to do it in order.
No, I know. It was just Cooper is also apparently based on Carolyn Bingley and the Lady Catherine de Burgh.
Yeah, so Lady Catherine we talked about. Carolyn Bingley is Charles Bingley's bitchy sister, who does not like the pores.
Okay.
Yeah, that fits with Cooper.
She is not about the pores at all.
And who is Reese in Fire Island?
Reese?
It's
there's no
Charlie's boyfriend who comes back. Ex-boyfriend who
Reese.
comes back.
That's based on
Reese.
Anne de Burgh.
Yeah, so Reese is about as minor as Anne de Burgh is. Anne is Lady Catherine's sickly daughter that she wants to marry off to Mr. Darcy.
Okay. I was just looking through the Wikipedia and I was like, there's a couple more names on here that I don't recognize that we talked about.
Yeah, there's so much deep connection between the characters that Fire Island just did not have time to go into.
Yeah.
That when Reese showed up, that's when I got mad at Charlie. Because I was like, man, are you really that dumb? Especially when we got when we got to see Rhys, like what type of person he is, and he was so bad. Like, come on, Charlie, respect yourself.
There's a line in there that's like, "Did you get me a drink? Baby's thirsty."
Yeah,
that was special.
That was something. It certainly was something.
So, like, Rhys has Lyme disease, and Anne de Berg she's just sickly.
She's never given, like, there's never
the diagnosis.
Pinpoint of
There's no diagnosis.
She's just sickly.
She's just sickly.
She's a Victorian child.
She's a Regency child.
Regency child.
So the question is Cooper or Dex the more evil and hateable villain? My answer is easily Dex.
Yeah,
I would say Dex.
I agree on that. I kind of said that already, but like Cooper is obviously an idiot from the start and an asshole from the start. There's no doubt about it. But Dex tricks you, is deceitful, and also a sexual abuser. So, I rather see the evil and know that he's here than being tricked by him. And that's what Dex does.
Yeah, at least Cooper doesn't pretend to be anything else.
Yeah.
Cooper is exactly who he is. Yeah.
I wouldn't feel like I'm in danger around Cooper. At least not, unless he was like piloting a boat or something. But something that we didn't get in the movie, but I'm assuming is there because Will alluded to it, another character in the book, Georgia Darcy, who is Mr. Darcy's younger sister, and Will alluded to Dex doing something similar with one of his friends. If it's a one-for-one analog, Dex also had sex with and statutorily raped a minor and filmed it as well, because that is what Mr. Wickham does. He chases after and essentially ruins Mr. Darcy's underage sister.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's horrible.
Yeah, for people who are wondering what Dex did to Will's friend, it was probably an underage friend that that Dex did the exact same thing to as he did to Luke, which is probably too heavy for the tone that they were going for.
Right.
But no, Dex is legit a sociopath, like an evil.
Yeah. He's horrible.
And the worst is that he has no remorse at all. Like, he does not see what wrong he's doing. Like, he had sex with a guy and filmed it and posted about it, like, posted the video everywhere. And, like, yes, there was probably some consent while that happened because, like, the other guy was completely high, but that's not, like, real consent. And he's like, oh yeah, but like you say, yes, that's fine. And I'm like, dude, what the fucking fuck?
And if you notice, Dex is sober in all the scenes.
Right.
Yeah.
And Luke is not.
Luke is never sober.
Poor Luke is never
poor
sober.
Luke.
Bless
Poor
his
Luke.
little white heart.
I know.
That's abusing someone. That's like, yeah.
And I
hate him.
I have to give kudos to the actor for Dex. I can't remember his name now, but he plays him really well. Because even if
Zane Phillips,
thank you. Even if you know who his character is based on, it's still shocking when like sort of the other shoe drops and everything starts. His true self is revealed. He plays him really well. It's well done.
Like, I was expecting a shoe to drop because there had been enough allusion to that. I didn't know what to expect, and I was very scared.
Yeah.
Right.
It's bad. And in the book, what happens in the book is also truly horrible. It's terrible. But
yeah, there's some dark shit in Jane Austen's books, but it all happens off page. Like in Mansfield Park, she deals with slave labor but not on page.
Interesting.
But yeah, so Dex and Cooper are both very well written villains. One thing I liked is that how this movie didn't go the prudish route of saying, oh, he has an OnlyFans, he's bad.
Mm-hmm.
Or he has lots of sex, he's bad. Like, the issue is consent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you can go back to the first question.
Yes. which homo pairing got you in the feels more, Noah and Will or Howie and Charlie or both?
For me, it was Howie and Charlie, just because it was a cute little romance. And you actually got to see it develop as opposed to, I don't know, for some reason, I always thought that, like, Lizzie Bennet is the main character, and I'm sure she is, I get that, but we don't really see much of her romance develop. It's just more her like getting, or in the film at least, it's Noah learning that Will isn't a complete dick. And that's not really a romance.
Yeah, I get the sense that Will and Noah are gonna end up together because, like, oh, what do you want? And it's like two old men dancing in the background. So, like, I feel like we're getting the start of their romance, but we're not seeing the actual romance.
Do we see the actual romance in Pride and Prejudice?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Because in Pride and Prejudice, the entire plot of Fire Island happens over the course of like a year and a half.
Oh, okay. Whereas in Fire Island, it's 7 days.
Yeah, and like Lizzie and Mr. Darcy and Jane and Mr. Bingley get married in a double wedding.
Oh, well, that's cute.
Oh,
Yeah, it's very cute.
It is cute.
So cute.
yeah. I like Noah and Will. Howie and Charlie were cute, but also like kind of expected from the start. I mean, Noah and Will also is kind of expected because, of course, Will is not going to be the asshole that Noah is thinking about. But yeah, I don't know. I like how it ended. I mean, if you ignore that it's a Pride and Prejudice retelling, there's no guarantee that it will indeed end up into a relationship because they literally live on very different places of the United States. One is in New York, the other in LA. I feel like it'd be interesting for Noah to move to LA because his friend is in California too. I mean, even if, let's be real, SF LA, that doesn't mean that people see each other either.
Right. They're very
exactly.
far apart.
But I like that it's a relationship that we don't have all of the answers yet. Meanwhile, like Noah and Will talked a little bit at the end of the movie about Howie and Charlie and how they will think, like what they think of how that will end with the two of them. And they were like, oh yeah, like in 6 months they're completely in love and everything's fine.
Yeah.
And yeah.
No, I thought the speculation was cute.
Yeah. And I like Will. I like Will as a character, and I like the sassiness of Noah.
Yeah.
Kat, what about your romance?
For me, it's Howie and Charlie. That's the one for me. I'm a sucker for a good cute romance, and also completion, if that makes sense. And so I I get the viewpoint of, like, you know, we're not seeing it. We're seeing sort of the beginning of them, but like my romantic heart is just like, no, but I want to see everything. I want to see the whole thing.
I want a Fire Island too, okay?
And that's why you're more of a Howie.
That's exactly. Yes, exactly. Yes. Yeah, exactly. And so yeah, like Howie and Charlie had they were it for me from the beginning.
I'm just still mad at Charlie for the whole thing with Reese. I'm sorry. I thought it was a dick move, like a complete dick move to Howie. And yes, it did something great to get Howie back, but it really felt like, gosh, you are so dumb that someone needs to give you the solution on how to fix your mess.
That's
and
fair.
I did not like that.
I mean, Charlie was also like gaslighted and emotionally manipulated by Reese and Cooper. And the thing about Bingley and Jane, they're both lovely people, but they will not fight. They will not throw down. They will immediately go under a rock. Like they
are non-confrontational, basically.
Exactly. Very much.
They're very non-confrontational. Mr. Bennet, like Lizzie, I think, asks her dad if she's happy for Jane and Mr. Bingley, and Mr. Bennet's like, oh, I'm very happy for them. They're both so lovely, and they're both so lovely that their servants will have lifted all their silverware from them within a year or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was annoyed at Charlie, but I also think that, I mean, he's responsible for his own actions, but I think that it was born of gaslighting and abuse, because I get the sense that Reese was also emotionally abusive and manipulative to Charlie as well.
Yeah.
And just took advantage of him and his character. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Charlie is also, like, in a somewhat different way than Howie, I think. Charlie is also very naive.
Yeah.
I think it just manifests differently.
I mean,
But
with Noah's like, yeah, we had another friend, Charlie. He died in the fire. And Charlie's like, oh my God, that's so awful.
Yeah.
It's like, this boy's not going, this boy's
oh
not
boy.
all there.
Open the schools, please.
Yes. But I like the Will and Charlie romance a bit better. I mean, I love both of them to pieces, but I've always liked to see more of the Jane Bingley romance because in the book it's not as developed as it is in the movie. And like Howie could almost be argued, like even though the perspective of the movie is told from Noah's point of view, I would say that Howie is the main character.
I really like the friendship between Noah and Howie.
It's so
Yes.
sweet.
I feel like, honestly, when you look at all the relationships between that movie, that friendship is my favorite one. Without even talking about the romantic pairing and this kind of thing. It's, they're there for each other. And yes, sometimes they fight and don't always understand the other, but at the end of the day, they're still best friends.
And this is something I think that you said in your notes too, Matt, but it was so nice seeing platonic friendships between specifically queer men of color. It was so lovely and nice to see. And yeah, it's I agree with you, Camille.
Yeah. And the friendship between Will and Charlie is great too. Like, yes, Will is a bit much when he has strong opinions, but like the ferocity with which he protects Charlie.
That scene when Will and Noah go to confront Dex made me love Will so much.
Yeah.
And knowing that he was bullshitting his way in order to get Dex to delete the video. This was a mic drop.
Yeah.
It was
So good.
Yeah, Will is someone who I don't think is very quick to anger. I mean, he's always grumpy, but he's never quick to anger. But if you do piss him off or hurt someone he loves, he will go scorched earth. And there will be nothing left of you when he's done.
Noah goes to confront Dex thinking, I'm going to kill him. And then he meets Will, and Will directly say, I'm going to kill that guy.
Yeah.
See, you can agree on something.
Yeah.
Another thing I love is how idiotic and dumb and lovable Howie and Charlie's first lines are when Howie falls. And Charlie's like, you must have strong bones.
Oh my God.
Which is a bad enough of a first line. But then Howie's like, just the knees, I guess.
Yeah.
It just makes it worse.
Noah just face palms in the background.
Yeah.
And
It's so good.
Oh man.
There's so many good quotes.
Yeah.
Like, it's a family heirloom when like they're like judging Noah's Speedo, and he's like, yeah, it's a family heirloom. Fly, you fools. Lord of the Rings.
oh yeah, it's a fly, you
Yeah,
fools.
yeah.
That made me laugh.
It made me happy.
He's into me, yeah, and he has like 5 anime tattoos. I'm still dead at that one.
Oh my God.
The homophobic Cheez-Its pricing guy. I don't know what I was thinking yesterday, but I said the homophobic Cheez-Its pricing guy is the energy we need going into the 2024 presidential election. I can't explain this, but I said it.
We need Cheez-Its to be homophobically priced.
No, we need to have his energy when encountering homophobic pricing.
My brain not good.
Like tenacious.
That tenacity, got it.
Another one. I didn't think we were arguing. Okay, so let me win. Okay, you win. And then smirks.
Yeah, I think the writing in this film was just like A+, top tier.
Yeah. I had an amazing time watching that yesterday. I don't know. It's a warm hug.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's super delightful.
And also it's so obvious in this movie that it was made by queer people, like from like especially queer men of color who knows that's what they're talking about. And it's not like it's a movie with a queer audience in mind. It's not something to please a straight, for example.
Right.
Right. It's a queer movie meant for queer people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
And if you're a straight person who enjoys it, good for you. If not, this is not for you.
It's
Move
not for
along.
you. Yep. Exactly. Can we talk about Margaret Cho for a minute, please?
Yes. Oh,
Sure.
Because
I love her.
every time I see her in something, I'm always like, why isn't Margaret Cho in everything? Like in all the, just put her in everything, please, and thank you. Because she's so delightful.
Oh, you say, why isn't she? Because I was like, I don't remember seeing her in anything.
No, why isn't she? I want her in more things. That's what I'm saying.
She was so fun.
She was so fun, and she's so funny.
Oh my
like,
gosh, yes.
she felt she brought, I think, a level of I don't know if maturity is the right word, but like she like not in like everyone else is immature, but there was just like, I don't know. I felt secure, if that makes sense.
She's a 50-year-old woman like, that is mothering a bunch of 30-years-old dudes. And she's there's a lot of fun family topic in this movie too, which was cute. Fun family. What have you done, Kat? I don't know. Kat is doing something weird with Kat's recording. Will continue on a new track. What have you done?
What?
Kat.
I'm so confused.
Kat had an issue with her mic. Their mic.
Oh no.
It got tangled. So once again, my boobs are my worst enemy.
The cable got tangled in your boobs, and then it
came out.
Oh.
I'm so sorry.
That's fine.
I was like, what is like? Why can't I hear anything? What is going on? And then I looked down and I was like, oh my god.
See, I feel like you should figure out a way to, instead putting it like vertically in front of you, to put it like something like that.
I mean, so a couple months in counting, I'm going to have a better setup. And so
yeah, I mean it's okay. Boobs do these sorts of things.
They do. They're wild and reckless.
At WatCon, I got tangled up in Lesbian Nerdy's boobs.
It happens.
Yeah.
It happens.
Okay. Anyway, do we
have you never had a sapphic mark her territory on you?
Okay. Do you have anything else to say about that movie?
Yeah, just a few more quotes. I love Keegan being hot, not Keegan, Max being high, looking in the mirror and saying, "Is that me? Oh my god, I'm gorgeous." Like that sort of self-love is so, it's great, but it was also really funny. Like his high scenes were really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'm Max because I feel like that would be me high too.
I think so. I can see that. I really can. I can see you doing that.
And then there's Will. I have a lot of friends, actually. I'm a very fun, loving person. Just saying with a straight face.
We can tell, Will. It's very obvious, Will.
I'm not flying Spirit for you, bitch.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god.
Oh god,
I don't know what's going on. I'm going to go. That was like Will with Moses was.
Yes.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's probably why I'm Will, because that would be me. I was like, I don't know you. Don't touch me.
Yes.
There's a really angry lesbian on there. So that lines make me laugh, especially like when the lesbian actually showed up in the brother taxi and we're like, so, okay, can we finally go to where we want to go? Like,
yeah, it was indeed an angry lesbian.
Yeah.
It was indeed. Also, the sad line that Bowen Yang, of course, delivered is, "I want to be vulnerable even when it hurts."
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was a good one.
Bowen Yang is just a national treasure. Like,
oh my god.
Yeah.
Someone get that man an EGOT or whatever award it is they hand out to white people during movie season.
I mean, honestly, that movie made me look up like pretty much like most of the main cast to see in what other movies they were, because I want more of them. Which also made me realize that Bowen Yang is in Dix the Musical.
Yeah.
Which
He plays God.
That's right.
Which is amazing.
Which is still a movie that I haven't watched, because every time there's been discussion about it here, I've been shocked by it. So, yeah, no, I feel like maybe I should actually watch that.
Also, unlike so many movies in Hollywood, every single cast member was like matched the identity of what they were playing. Like everyone was a queer man or queer woman, which is so amazing.
Yeah.
And not done enough.
No, it doesn't happen often.
Yeah, it's always a tricky question in a sense that you can't force that only queer people play queer characters.
Exactly.
Because then it's like outing people. It's also like constraining queer people to only play queer characters. But at the same time, it's like, it's always fun when you get a community to find each other, like, too.
Like, sometimes it is important to have, like, a person who is queer play that role.
Yeah, I think it depends on the role. It will determine whether or not it's important enough for a queer person specifically to play that role. And I think for this movie, it made a lot of sense and worked really, really well. I don't know that it would have worked otherwise, because there's just a, you know, there's just a different layer of insight, I think, that queer people bring to, especially to a story like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, do we have anything else to say? If not, thank you very much for listening to this episode of The Queers of Time. I hope you enjoyed that. If you have watched Fire Island, let us know what you thought of it. It's a cute movie and we enjoyed it, so hopefully you should enjoy it too if you have never watched it yet. What else? If you want to find us, we are on most social media platforms. We are on Twitter, Blue Sky, Tumblr. Our main platform is going to be Discord. We have a Discord server you should join. And if you want to support us, we have a Patreon. If you want more people to find the podcast, you can always leave review on Apple Podcast. It apparently helps with...
Helps people find us.
Helps people find us.
Yes, helps people find us. Yep, and that's pretty much it on my side.
Yay! Thank you.
Yay!
Give us money, bitches.
Thank
Oh
you.
my god. Let's...
Make it
Aw.
rain,
Why?
bitches.
Okay, bye.
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 Thank you all for listening. This was Queers of Time, a Wheel of Time podcast. The music is Dance of the Witches by Julius H.